The Lexington Fire Department says they determined a structure fire on Grassland-Park was accidental and unintentional. Officials add the fire started from outside the home. According to the Lexington Fire Department, they arrived at 248 Grassland-Park just after 10:30. Crews could see smoke and flames as they arrived on the scene. Officials say the fire spread to the attic, but they were able to put out the flames. The battalion chief says there were no reported injuries. And a Winchester man is facing federal charges in connection to multiple overdose deaths. According to the Winchester Police Department, Brian Philip Epperson has been indicted on 2 counts of distributing methamphetamine that led to the deaths of 2 victims. The indictment comes after a months-long investigation. Officials say the investigation began back in June when officers responded to a welfare check at the Red Roof Inn and found a woman dead. Sergeant Matthew Reed and a DEA task force testified before a federal grand jury, resulting in Epperson's indictment. Epperson remains in federal custody at the Clark County Detention Center. Each charge carries a minimum sentence of life in prison if convicted. And in Frankfort, a man accused in the deaths of his 2 sons was back in court for a status hearing on 2 different cases. As ABC 36's Sydney St. Clair reports, both the prosecution and the defense are still waiting on paperwork.
Dustin Fields is accused of killing his 2 sons and the family dog in a deadly house fire back in April.
And we still don't have a report from AT.
Fields is charged with 2 counts of murder, arson, and torture of a dog. He is accused of setting his house on fire on Flat Creek Road on April 30th. Police say he allegedly knew his 13-year-old and 15-year-old boys and the family dog were inside. Fields is also charged in connection to the sexual abuse of a young child in a second investigation. The defense says it has filed a motion for discovery in the sexual abuse case against Fields.
Detective referenced several PCBS reports that he had examined and was relying on for probable cause purposes. Also, a couple of EPO, DBO files from other counties that he was relying on regarding probable cause. I have not received anything regarding those.
Fields is due back in court for both cases on December 12th. In Frankfort, Sydney St. Clair, ABC 36 News Now.
And a woman charged in a connection to a double murder was in court this morning in Lexington. Officials say 69-year-old Deborah Weiss was scheduled for another arraignment earlier today. Officials say Weiss is accused of shooting and killing 2 men in August near the Northside Library on Russell Cave Road. We're working to learn more information. And we have an update on Lexington homicide from May 2nd. 40-year-old Mia White charged with murder and domestic violence in the death of 24-year-old Elmer Eldridge was in court this afternoon at 1. Police say the shooting happened on Newtown Pike earlier that morning, and Eldridge was taken to the hospital where he later died. All parties have been identified, and detectives are continuing their investigation. Anyone with information can call Lexington Police or Bluegrass Crime Stoppers. And a second person has been arrested in connection to last month's shooting on Winburn Drive in Lexington. According to police, 20-year-old Jermaine Shanks was arrested yesterday on assault and wanton endangerment charges. He was scheduled for an arraignment this afternoon at 1. As Reeve reported, a warrant was issued for Shanks days after the arrest of 20-year-old John Tay Mattingly, the first suspect in the case. Investigators say the 2 are charged in connection to the September 18th shooting of Stefan Van Zandt, a city employee. Officials say Van Zandt was shot in the head at a bus stop on Winburn and McCullough Drive. According to police, he was taken to a hospital with reported life-threatening injuries. And President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky met at the White House Friday for a high-stakes meeting. The 2 leaders have met several times since Trump was reelected. It's the second time Zelensky has been invited to the White House this year. His first visit was in February in what turned into a contentious meeting at the Oval Office. As Ivan Rodriguez reports, Friday's meeting appeared more productive.
President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky meeting at the White House Friday to discuss strategies to end the ongoing war between Ukraine and Russia.
President Zelensky of Ukraine has endured a lot. I mean, he really has. He's endured a lot. and we've endured it with him. To be honest, it's been a long time, and I think we're making great progress.
Zelensky making his plea to the U.S. for more long-range weapons, specifically Tomahawk missiles, which can travel more than 1,000 miles to help Ukraine target deep inside Russia.
President Trump is really showed for the world that he can manage ceasefire in Middle East, and that's why I hope that he will do this, and we will also have such big success. For Ukraine, it's a big chance.
It's been more than 3 years since Russia launched a full-scale invasion into Ukraine. This map shows in red the areas where Russian troops are present. Ending the war has been a top goal of Trump's since returning to the Oval Office. In August, he met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska. But some Ukrainian leaders think the U.S. should be doing more.
And there has not been any pressure put on Russia. And there has been promises and the deadlines that were pushed again and again, which right now looks like an appeasement to Putin.
Friday's meeting comes a day after Trump held a phone call with Putin, where the two leaders agreed to meet face-to-face at a later date in Hungary. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
And still ahead, Alaska natives are feeling the impact of Typhoon Halong after it ran through their communities. We'll have more from the largest airlift in Alaska's history coming up after the break.
I'm Chief Meteorologist T.J. Shuck live at Roosters on Richmond Road. It is Football Friday tailgate, a perfect night yet again for football, and heading into the weekend, tons going on. The weather cooperates initially, but big changes ahead. I'll tell you about it coming up next.
The Hoop CD is backed by popular demand, and we love it.
Community Trust Bank's Hoop Certificate of Deposit. With every Cats win this season, your Hoop CD will increase in value. It's for a limited time now through November the 10th, and it starts with an initial rate of 3.78% annual percentage yield. That's a win-win situation.
Pass the ball. I meant to me.
Community Trust Bank. Building communities built on trust.
Is your fridge singing the blues? Because your food is too?
I'm spoiled. I'm losing my taste.
When your fridge isn't working, your food's left singing the blues. At Appliance Pro, we've got refrigerators, washers and dryers, ovens, ranges, dishwashers, and more with unbeatable prices. So don't sing the blues. Come in now. Appliance Pro.
Get your career in less than a year at the College for Technical Education. Our nail technician program is the only certified program in Central Kentucky. Day or evening classes available starting every 6 weeks at our Nicholsville and Winchester locations. In 3 months, you can begin earning in this in-demand field. Scan this code or go to cte.edu now and begin your career in less than a year at CTE, Lexington's premier trade school.
Take on fall work with the power to get the job done. Save $50 on the powerful MS250 chainsaw and save $20 on the BG56 CE blower, built for easy starts and quick cleanups. Shop in-store and online.
Get an 11% rebate right now at Menards. Upgrade your home's appearance with a new garage door from Ideal Door. There's no need to wait with our huge in-stock selection. Get this 9x7 insulated garage door for only $449.99 after rebate. Add style to your home with a new door lock from Kwikset. You can choose from these Kwikset interior door locks for only $14.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Well, we are wrapping up what has been a delightful week of weather here in central and eastern Kentucky. Just beautiful conditions from start to finish through the entire week. And what a way to kickstart the weekend. We are live here at Roosters on Richmond Road for Football Friday tailgate. It's always a lot of fun. Got a nice crowd. The folks beginning to come in now that the meet at Keeneland for the day, at least today's card has wrapped up, and folks getting that jump start on what looks to be a pretty spectacular beginning to the weekend. Now the second half, not so much. Lots to talk about. Let's get to it. Nice quiet Friday sunrise. Really pretty shot from Ellen Stanley Sears. That's been the case each and every morning. It was cool. We were down into the 40s. Now, this evening, with the clouds thickening up and more of a south to southwest wind, your Football Friday fan meter, good to go. How about temperatures in the 60s? Those clouds really thickening up. You can see it there with the visible satellite. And with winds beginning to shift to the southwest, that's going to open the door for additional moisture. Our dew points have been creeping up a little bit. It's pretty representative of what we got across the area now. Our Hicks and Funson cam here in Lexington, checking out Hamburg, east side of town. We're right at 70 degrees, and temperatures across the area, upper 60s in the east, 70 here in the Bluegrass, and into the mid-70s across the western and southwestern part of the viewing area. Farther southwest you go, the warmer it is. And those 80s are going to be in here tomorrow. You're going to feel every bit of it. Started out at a cool 46, but a nice recovery back up to 73 for the afternoon high, 68 and 47 now the average high and low, and we are going to be well above that tomorrow. So the stage is set. High pressure over the Carolinas giving way, and that's going to open the door for that frontal system to make a run for the Ohio Valley. But it's like everything in life, timing is critical, and it looks to time out. Pretty good shape in our neck of the woods. We'll be in the 50s tomorrow morning. Those few specks of green tomorrow afternoon. But I really think the chances are going to be very isolated, even during the evening hours. And Futurecast is actually trying to hold things off until maybe late Saturday night towards Sunday morning. I'll tell you, the highs on Sunday will be probably mid to late morning in the mid-60s before temperatures head the other way. But let's talk about tomorrow. Tailgating's going to be awesome. Just anchor your tent down because the breeze will be around. Look at that 84 about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then your solid blue forecast for the game. Should be in good shape. Just take the rain gear along to be on the safe side. But for October 18th, a night game at Kroger Field, Kentucky taking on Texas. You don't get that very often, staying in the 70s throughout the game. Other aspects of this, low-end severe threat, that's really late tomorrow night and into the early part of Sunday. In fact, the day 3 outlook kicks it eastward a bit toward eastern Kentucky. The level 1 low end, it's I think, a low-end damaging wind threat. Probably worst case scenario at this point. Rainfall totals still look pretty healthy. I mean, we could pick up an inch of rain or so here in the Bluegrass. Of course, the wind very much a bit of an issue even into Sunday. It'll be breezy through the game, but the strongest winds will be along that front. They could be the tune of 35 to 40 plus, even behind it, and that will make that drop in temperatures feel fairly significant. And then early next week, it's very pleasant on Monday. A little secondary front drives through here, maybe a passing shower and some cooler air, which could set us up for some morning frost possibly into Wednesday, Thursday, and next week. But here in the short term, mostly cloudy, mild 55, 84 tomorrow, breezy and warm, that stray shower or storm. And we go from 84 to 64, but again, that 64, that is going to be probably mid to late morning. Chilly on Monday morning, looks good early next week, and then we do back temperatures down. That 40 on Wednesday morning, 42 Thursday morning, that may actually be a bit high. We could eventually end up trending those down, so it is going to feel like fall heading toward the latter part of next week. But heading into game day tomorrow, got the daily double, Keeneland in the morning or afternoon. The night game, it should be summer-like for it. Speaking of all those sports activities, Sports Director Jeff Picoro, along with sports reporter Noah Ellis, will be along to preview high school football and the Cats and the Longhorns coming up at Kroger Field tomorrow night. That's coming up here in just a few minutes.
Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Denham Law Firm, your insurance claim's best friend.
Happy baby here at Surplus Sales. What makes me happy? Interior solid wood doors and solid wood kitchen and bath cabinets. Plus, we offer financing. Now that should make you happy, like me. Visit us online or stop by the showroom at Surplus Sales. Flooring, cabinets, and more.
Chevy makes America's most dependable trucks. like the rugged Colorado, the highly capable Silverado 1500, the powerful Silverado HD, and the uncompromising Silverado EV. In every Chevy truck, dependability comes standard.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on all Silverado 1500 models.
Chevrolet, the #1 selling truck brand in Kentucky.
Do you have TED head? Do you have Folix head?
So what are you waiting for? With our money-back guarantee, you have nothing to lose. With TED or with Folix, we can do a complete hair restoration on you. And all results are money-back guaranteed. You can visit our website to book a free consultation or give us a call. Again, everything is money-back guaranteed. So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today.
Andy Barr was Mitch McConnell's understudy.
My mentor, leader Mitch McConnell.
So Barr followed in his footsteps, voting to grant amnesty to nearly 2 million illegal aliens.
People who are undocumented, we did provide in the bill that I voted for, a legalization of that group that provided protection from deportation.
But unlike his mentor, Amnesty Andy will never be senator. Win It Backpack is responsible for the content of this ad.
Our business is your home comfort. That's why we're here 365 days a year. We never charge overtime, and we'll always be here when you need us most. You never think about your heat until there's a problem. If there is, call Brian.
Next ET, we're with the cast of All's Fair and Nobody Wants This. Plus,
Danny Reagan is back.
Did you miss me?
ET in Beantown, first on set of Boston Blue. Next, ET.
Tonight at 7 on ABC 36. Welcome back to ABC 36 News Now at 6.
Welcome back. The Coast Guard and National Guard are working around the clock with first responders in Alaska after a devastating typhoon wiped out rural communities. ABC's Jacqueline Lee has more from Washington.
The largest airlift in Alaska history is underway as hundreds of residents are evacuated due to Typhoon Halong. Western Alaska was battered by 100-mile-an-hour winds and storm surge of more than 6 feet in some areas. Some towns washed into the Bering Sea, with at least 1 dead and 2 missing.
It sounded like a lot of stuff was just hitting the house. Everything in my house was shaking.
Remote coastal towns only accessible by air or water were hit the hardest. In the town of Kipnuk, this drone video shows muddy piles of homes toppled from their foundations. Residents forced to evacuate about 500 miles to Anchorage. The Alaska National Guard releasing these photos showing about 300 residents packed into a C-17. Among them, children, the elderly, and beloved pets.
It's a nightmare what we went through.
The Globemaster touching down at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson as the Alaska National Guard delivers food, water, and fuel to communities.
We've been also transporting maintenance to help get some of the generators back going again. These communities are without power and they are very limited on their food. Some of these communities have less than 72 hours worth of food and 1 to 2 days worth of fuel to power the generators.
Tristan Carl recalls watching his uncle's home swept away by the water.
I saw my cousin and my nephew in there, and I never heard panicking or yelling like that ever before.
State officials estimate about 1,600 people are staying in 13 shelters. Experts saying it's too late in the year to start rebuilding due to winter weather. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And the U.S. Supreme Court is closing its doors to the public as the government shutdown drags into a 3rd week. In a statement today, the court says it expects to run out of funding by October 18th, forcing changes to its operations if Congress doesn't act. While justices will continue to hear arguments, draft opinions, and accept filings, visitors will no longer be allowed inside the building. The High Court last shut its doors in 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic and didn't reopen until 2022. And still to come, we're going to be live with sports director Jeff Piccoro and sports reporter Noah Ellis at Roosters on Richmond Road. They'll have the latest on what we can expect from tonight's games. The details are coming up in today's Sports Report.
There's a fresh new voice in the Kentucky Senate race, conservative Nate Morris, a 9th-generation Kentuckian. He was raised by a single mother in a union household. Nate worked hard, pulled himself up, built a successful job creating business from scratch. Nate's not part of the Mitch McConnell machine. He's a true Washington outsider. And like President Trump, Nate believes in creating prosperity for all Americans. It's a new day in Kentucky. Nate Morris for U.S. Senate. Restoration of America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
I'm Matt Minner, and if you've been involved in an auto accident, don't hesitate to call us for legal help. Remember, the first 10 days following an accident are crucial. Insurance companies do not wait. Understand they have a staff of adjusters, attorneys, and investigators collecting information against you. Again, don't hesitate. We've got you. I'm Matt Minner of Minner Vines Injury Lawyers.
If you've been in an auto accident, call Minner Vines now.
My children live on the same mountain as I live on. I'm the silver fox on the mountain. My name is Lois, and I have been with Centerwell 15 years. What impresses me about my doctor, he sits and talks to you and goes over everything. I always leave feeling that my needs have been taken care of. And the staff is so friendly and welcoming, you almost feel like you're at home. As a senior, and them focusing on seniors, they know what we need. I strive to stay healthy because I want to do whatever. Like 2 years ago, I went ziplining. That was probably one of the oldest ones they'd ever had. I loved it. No, my doctor did not know. But I told him later, and he was happy for me.
Choose a senior-focused doctor who makes you feel heard, not hurried. Schedule a tour today. Centerwell Senior Primary Care. It's about time. Design you feel in every detail. Technology as innovative as it is effortless. These are luxuries you don't have to wait for. This is Buick now. Buick, exceptional by design.
Get 0.9% APR and no monthly payments until next year on these 2025 Buick models. Plus, current eligible non-GM owners get up to $3,000 allowance on Encore GX.
Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Denham Law Firm, your insurance claim's best friend.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Roosters on Richmond Road. It's our Football Friday tailgate and a huge night of high school football tonight. I'm Jeff Pecora alongside of Noah Ellis. And Noah, our game of the week is a really good one in 5A football. These are two powerhouses. Woodford County is hosting Scott County. These two teams are so similar. When you look at the numbers, it's crazy. Both of them average 41 points a game. Both of them less than 20 points defensively. This is going to be one heck of a game.
Yeah, and it gets even more deep than that. They each average, like you said, exactly 41 points per game. And then their two common opponents are Great Crossing and Collins, and they beat them by like the exact same score. Right. One's 42-21, one's 42-14, and one's 42-24, and the other's 38-14. It's like it's all the same game that they're playing. So it's two of the same teams just going at each other over and over.
Let's talk about Scott County first, because they run an offense that is so hard to defend because you never practice against the wing T anymore. And they have a player named Timmy Imongo who does absolutely everything.
Yeah, literally everything. I mean, in fact, in the Collins game that he played 3 weeks ago, he had 3 touchdowns and 1 interception in the first quarter of the game. So when you talk about doing everything, this kid literally does it all, both sides of the ball, and he's their target that they're going with every time on offense. And there's no option to stop him even.
Yeah, I mean, he's already has over 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns on the year. Scott County in 5A is ranked number 1. Woodford County is number 2. So this is a huge game. And in RPI, this is where it's very important. Number 3 is Scott County. Number 5 is Woodford County. So whoever wins this game really gets a nice boost in the RPI, which is huge for the playoffs. All right, let's flip over and talk a little bit about Woodford County, a little more conventional offense.
Yeah, a little bit more conventional offense. They have a strong quarterback and running back display, and it's kind of what makes them a strong offense as a whole. Now, it's very, like you said, very different than Scott County. It's not all relying on Timmy Imongo, right, switching him in formations and stuff like that. They have a great quarterback in Fox Coons, great running back in Darion Tomlin, and both of them kind of do with their own thing to make this offense special.
Yeah, Coons can really throw the ball. He's already thrown for over 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, and then, of course, the running back has already got over 600 yards and 9 touchdowns. So very balanced on both teams. I think this is going to be a great game tonight. So it's going to be pretty cool, and I cannot wait to get over there and see this. Let's bring T.G. Shuck in here as we kind of close out the show and give us a little bit more on this weather, because everybody's wondering what's going to happen tomorrow.
It's unbelievable. I mean, from all the games that you've done and you get this deep in the season to have temperatures in the 70s for a night game at Kroger Field. Scratch forecasts were golden tonight. No issues at all. I mean, we have really been lucky. That 1 week in September, first weekend of September, that we had bad Friday night. It's been great. Tomorrow, mid-80s.
And even for Kentucky, it's been unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely. Mid-80s tomorrow. Tailgate's awesome. 70s for the game, but take the rain gear along just to be on the safe side. Isolated storm or two, maybe, but I think we're good until
And then after the game, the cold comes.
It does. Windy all weekend long, especially on Sunday.
All right, let's, for all of us here, for TG and Noah, I'm Jeff. Let's throw it back to Jen in the studio.
Thanks, guys, and great job at Roosters on Richmond Road tonight. And thank you at home for joining us. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up. Have a good evening.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, nonstop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. The guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years, doctor finally sent him in. So in 30 days, I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen presents their annual Fall Art Market. The market is open to the public and features artisan crafts, artist demonstrations, food, live music, and more. Stop by the Kentucky Artisan Center on October 18th and 19th in historic Berea, Kentucky, featuring jewelry, photography, woodwork, pottery, and more. For more information about the Kentucky Guild of Artists and Craftsmen's Fall Art Market, go to visitberea.com. We'll see you there.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers.
But at the core, this is a family business.
Our family watching out for your family. Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Looking for a place to belong? You're invited to come check out Southern Christian Church. You can tune in and watch us live every Sunday at 10 a.m. right here on ABC 36.
Tonight, breaking news just in. President Trump commutes George Santos' sentence. We learned just moments ago, President Trump now commuting the sentence of former Congressman George Santos, who authorities said lied about his personal life, his professional life, and got elected to Congress. He was convicted of wire fraud and identity theft. Now he'll go free. We'll go live to Mary Bruce. President Trump and President Zelensky at the White House. Zelensky asking the U.S. for Tomahawk missiles that could strike deep inside Russia. The president now hesitating after talking with Vladimir Putin. And the president was asked today, does he think Vladimir Putin is playing him? How he responds. Tonight, the U.S. military drone strike off Venezuela, and tonight, 2 people on that boat surviving this, picked up by the U.S. Navy. What we now know about the boat they were on, and the new images tonight of B-52 bombers flying to the coast of Venezuela, F-35 fighter jets seen in formation. What's behind the buildup? Arthur Raddatz and what she's learned tonight. The Jeffrey Epstein case and now the stunning decision by Prince Andrew, giving up all of his royal titles, he says, after talking with King Charles. What's behind the timing of this? Tonight, President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, pleading not guilty to charges of mishandling classified documents. Tensions rising in the Chicago area tonight. Police in riot gear clashing with protesters outside an ICE facility. More than a dozen people detained. Tonight, a race against time. Urgent evacuation still underway after entire towns were washed away in Alaska. Tonight, 2 years after we first met them, the parents of slain hostage Hirsch Goldberg Poland and the interview. In the end, Hirsch was the only American hostage who was taken alive and then murdered in captivity. Tonight, their remarkable message right here and what they've now shared with me. The harrowing images showing a plane falling from the sky, 3 people on board killed, the plane plunging 12,000 feet in just 1 minute. In New York City tonight, trouble on the East River involving a sightseeing ferry. Tonight, we're also tracking severe storms hitting this weekend. Possible tornadoes, heavy rain, damaging winds. Texas to Ohio, then sweeping into the Northeast.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight
with David Muir.
Good evening. We begin tonight here with the breaking news. We learned just moments ago President Trump has commuted the prison sentence of former New York Congressman George Santos. He'd been convicted of wire fraud and identity theft. Tonight we have learned he will now go free. Authorities have said he lied about details in his personal life, his professional life, his academic background, and got elected to Congress. Santos had pleaded guilty to those federal charges of wire fraud and identity theft. President Trump posting a short time ago calling Santos a rogue, releasing him from prison immediately and wishing him, in his words, good luck. Enjoy your life. Let's get right to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, leading us off with the breaking news. Mary, what have you learned?
Well, David, the president just moments ago announcing that he has commuted George Santos' sentence, saying he is releasing him from prison immediately. George Santos was sentenced to 7 years after he pleaded guilty to wire fraud and aggravated identity theft. The former congressman admitting he lied to Congress and defrauded donors. Now, during his brief political career, Santos was caught lying about where he went to college, his previous employment, and his charity endeavors. He even claimed his mother died in 9/11 and that his grandparents were Holocaust survivors, claims that were not true. Tonight, though, Trump saying, quote, at least Santos had the courage, conviction, and intelligence to always vote Republican. David?
Mary Bruce on the breaking news live at the White House. Mary, thank you. And stay with us here, Mary, because the other major story tonight, this high-stakes meeting at the White House. President Trump, Ukraine's President Zelensky asking for long-range Tomahawk missiles capable of being used to strike deep inside Russia. But 24 hours after President Trump spoke with Vladimir Putin, the president hesitating on giving Ukraine these missiles. And the president was asked today, does he think Vladimir Putin is playing him? Mary Bruce tonight on that story as well.
Tonight, sitting with President Zelensky, President Trump sounding newly hopeful that he can end the war in Ukraine. Even though Russia has only escalated its attacks since Trump and Vladimir Putin met in Alaska.
I think President Zelensky wants it done, and I think President Putin wants it done.
Zelensky says Putin does not want peace at all. He traveled to Washington to ask for powerful Tomahawk missiles capable of striking deep inside Russia. Trump had seemed open to that, but yesterday in a 2-hour phone call, Putin urged Trump not to give Ukraine the weapons. And today, before the cameras, the president hedged.
Hopefully we'll be able to get the war over with without thinking about Tomahawks.
Zelensky then put an offer on the table, suggesting the U.S. swap Tomahawks for sophisticated Ukrainian drones.
The United States has Tomahawks and other missiles, very strong missiles, but they can have our thousands of drones. That's why we can work together.
Trump said he'd be interested. The president now preparing for his second summit with Putin, this time in Hungary.
Aren't you concerned that maybe the Russian president is trying to buy himself more time?
Yeah, I am, but, you know, I've been played all my life by the best of them, and I came out really well.
Mr. President. Later, I asked Zelensky if he thinks Putin is just trying to buy time with this second summit.
I think that Russians are afraid about Tomahawks, really afraid, because it's a strong weapon, and they know what we have.
Leaving today, are you more or less optimistic that you are going to get those Tomahawks?
I'm realistic.
That's not it. Now, Trump once talked about getting Putin and Zelensky to meet together, but tonight he admits that's not likely to happen, saying his upcoming meeting with Putin in Hungary is likely to be just the two of them. David.
Mary Bruce following multiple developments tonight, and we appreciate it, Mary. Tonight, President Trump pushing forward with attacks he says are on drug boats headed for the U.S., a new drone strike in the Caribbean, 2 people on the boat surviving, then picked up by the U.S. Navy, and what we now know about the boat tonight that they were on. Here's Martha Raddatz on that.
Tonight, 2 survivors from a deadly U.S. military strike on a suspected drug vessel are aboard a U.S. Navy ship in the Caribbean, rescued by a U.S. helicopter. ABC News has learned another 2 were killed. Officials say the men were aboard a semi-submersible vessel, like this one. Boats, the Coast Guard says, are designed to hold large quantities of contraband while evading detection. This most recent strike was the 6th in the Caribbean in the last month, part of what President Trump has called his war on drug cartels.
This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines.
The administration offering no further evidence of illegal drugs. And tonight, the U.S. releasing new images of B-52 bombers flying what it calls a demonstration mission near the coast of Venezuela. F-35 fighter jets seen in formation. President Trump has also said he has authorized covert CIA missions inside Venezuela. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro taking note, saying never in the history of the CIA has a government publicly admitted to sending agents to other countries. And David, one more note tonight. Sources tell me Admiral Alvin Halsey, who was overseeing those strikes in the Caribbean and yesterday unexpectedly announced he was leaving his post, had expressed reservations about the ongoing military operations. David?
Martha Raddatz live in Washington again tonight. Thank you. Now to the Jeffrey Epstein case and the continuing fallout. Tonight, the stunning decision now by Prince Andrew, giving up all of his royal titles, he says, after talking with King Charles. So what's behind the timing of this? Here's our chief investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky now.
Tonight, with fresh scrutiny of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, Prince Andrew is giving up all of his royal titles, including Duke of York. Andrew saying in a statement, in discussion with the king and his family, we have concluded the continued accusations about me distract from the work of His Majesty and the royal family. It comes days before the release of a memoir written by Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre before she died by suicide. She long claimed Epstein trafficked her to have sex with Andrew when she was 17.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
Tonight, Andrew saying, I vigorously deny the accusations against me. The prince paid millions to settle Giuffre's claims, and he stepped back from his royal duties after denying he knew her in this infamous BBC interview.
I have no recollection of ever meeting this lady. None whatsoever.
You don't remember meeting her?
No.
Tonight, there are new questions. Recently published emails show Andrew's friendship with Epstein lasted longer than he claimed, and sources tell ABC News there are additional emails in the Epstein files that could embarrass him.
We're told tonight David King Charles is glad about Andrew's decision. As the son of a monarch, he can still be called Prince, but his ex, Sarah Ferguson, is no longer Duchess. David?
Aaron Kotursky on a Friday night. Thank you, Aaron. Tonight, President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton, pleading not guilty to charges of mishandling classified documents. An outspoken critic of the president, he's now accusing President Trump of retribution. Here's our Chief Justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, tonight.
Tonight, President Trump's former national security advisor pleading not guilty to 18 counts of mishandling classified information. This after declaring himself the latest target in the weaponizing of the Justice Department to charge those Trump deems to be his enemies.
Ambassador Bolton, do you have any comments, sir?
John Bolton is accused of sharing classified information with two family members that sources tell ABC News are his wife and daughter. He allegedly did it in diary-like emails describing his day-to-day experience in Trump's White House as he prepared to write a tell-all book. Prosecutors say that information, along with documents discovered when the FBI searched Bolton's home, included national security secrets.
I think he's, a bad person. I think he's a bad guy.
Bolton insists his book was reviewed and approved by the appropriate experienced career clearance officials. He accused Trump of mounting an intensive effort to intimidate his opponents, saying the administration embodies what Joseph Stalin's head of secret police once said, "You show me the man, and I'll show you the crime." David, Bolton has been released without bail in order to surrender his passport. David?
Pierre Thomas reporting tonight. Pierre, thank you. Next tonight, a heated clash over President Trump's immigration crackdown in the Chicago area. Police in riot gear clashing with protesters outside an ICE facility. This is in Broadview, Illinois, right here. Some officers using nightsticks to beat back the crowd. Authorities say nearly a dozen protesters arrested. The clash coming 24 hours after a judge ordered all federal agents with body cameras to wear them and keep them on during operations. As you know, we began this week anchoring from the Middle East as the final remaining surviving hostages were released by Hamas. One of the hostages who did not come home, Hirsch Goldberg Poland, the young American whose parents never gave up. His parents, Jonathan and Rachel, were the first parents I spoke with just days after the October 7th attack while we were on the ground there in Israel. And tonight, what they told me just this week, their remarkable message and their strength 2 years later.
We will never forget those two parents from Chicago who moved to Jerusalem with their young family. We met them just days after the October 7th Hamas attack. Rachel and Jonathan's young son, Hirsch Goldberg Poland, who had just turned 23, was celebrating his birthday at that music festival, where young people were soon running for their lives. We remember what they told me about the last 2 text messages from their son. I love you, and I'm sorry.
The first one said, I love you, and the second one said, I'm sorry. So I immediately knew something terrible had happened. I tried immediately to call him, and it rang and rang and rang. I wrote, are you okay? No answer. Are you okay? Let me know you're okay. And so that's the last time we heard from him.
And those 2 words, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I keep saying, it's okay. We haven't slept. I mean, but when I have these quiet moments at night, I keep saying, it's okay, it's okay. And I keep saying, I'm sending you every ounce of my strength. Stay alive.
They would begin piecing together his final moments, discovering an image, young people crowded into a shelter. Right there on the left, they see their son's face, Hirsch. They learned that grenades were being thrown into that shelter, their son losing an arm. The militants ordered those who could get up to leave, and so he did. They put him onto a pickup truck. And then 201 days after he was taken, April 2024, the world would see that Hirsch Goldberg Polin was still alive. Speaking in Hebrew in a video put out by Hamas, missing part of his left arm, he could be heard saying, I am the son of Jonathan and Rachel. I was born in California. And he goes on to say, one last thing, and more important than anything, Mom, Dad, Libby, Orly, I love you very much. I miss you very much. And I think of you every day that I'm here. It was 4 months after that video, his body was recovered from a tunnel. In the end, Hirsch was the only American hostage who was taken alive and murdered in captivity. This week, those 2 parents met me back in that same Tel Aviv park 2 years after we first met. They have stayed strong for all of the other families. It was the night before the surviving hostages came home.
It's pretty hard to believe that it's been 2 years and 2 days since the 3 of us sat together here in the same park. I know tomorrow has got to be bittersweet for you.
It's mostly sweet. We're just very nervous, optimistic, hopeful, trying to stay positive for these families.
Some people are going to be amazed that you're sitting here still championing all these other families when you were so close to getting your own son and it didn't happen.
I think that's exactly why we're still here, because we know the pain and because we've become family with these other hostage families.
I remember what you told me sitting here 2 years ago. The text messages, the last message from Hirsch, not only saying I love you, but I'm sorry.
They are still convinced their son knew they were about to suffer.
I now think he was writing I'm sorry because he thought he would be dying momentarily. We now think that he even had just had his arm blown off and probably typed that message out with his weak hand. And so I think that sorry was goodbye.
Yeah.
In these 2 years, they have heard from people all over the world, and they have learned that loss is universal.
People have looked at both of you and have wondered along the way, how are they doing it? How are you doing it? How does a mom do this?
Not well. There's no mom who does it well. We suffer horribly, and it's always. Sometimes we like to believe sayings such as time heals all wounds, or it will get better. I've spoken with thousands of bereaved parents around the world who have reached out. The loss and the pain and the grieving, that's a universal human experience, and it is forever.
It is forever, she says. And their mission now, they tell me, is to help others find strength through their loss.
I'm sure Hirsch, that beautiful young man, would be so proud of what the 2 of you have done.
Thank you.
So many people all around the world moved by their strength, Rachel and Jonathan Goldberg Polin, and their remarkable strength, and now their mission to help others with their loss moving forward. A lot more news ahead tonight. When we come back here, we're tracking severe storms set to hit this weekend, possible tornadoes, heavy rain, damaging winds. This is from Texas to the Ohio Valley, then sweeping into the Northeast. We'll have the forecast. Trouble on New York City's East River, help racing out. Also ahead, a race against time, urgent evacuations after entire towns were washed away in Alaska. And the plane crash tonight, the harrowing images, the plane falling from the sky, plunging 12,000 feet in 1 minute. And what we've now learned about that flight in a moment.
If you have heart disease and struggle with LDL-C,
even with statins and diet,
listen to your heart.
Talk to your doctor about Repatha.
Repatha plus a statin lowers LDL-C by 63%. Do not take Repatha if you're allergic to it. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site. Ask about Repatha.
When curiosity strikes about your family story, we're here with answers only your ancestors can provide. Right now, your whole story is on sale.
Are they hiring for stuffy and congested? Because you got the job.
Nope, I got Mucinex Clear and Cool. Instant cooling rush. Mucus clearing sinus relief.
Let's go! Mucinex Clear and Cool nasal sprays. Feel the cool rush of relief.
Feel the power of Osteo-Biflex. Taken every day, it's clinically shown to improve joint comfort in 7 days with significant improvement over time. Now, try new advanced omega-3 joint complex.
Relief Hotline. Tell us where it hurts. Feeling nauseous? Had a big night out? Start with Nausine. Nausine's 4-minute formula is just right for effective nausea and upset stomach relief. Nuclear hot wings. That'll do it. Kobayashi Healthcare. If it hurts, we help.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Unfortunately, I didn't check if doing the Georgia bark at my boss would be appropriate. Go, dogs!
Yeah. So we need to...
Circle.
And it's not. Checking Allstate first was smart. Barking at my boss, dumb. At least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds.
Hey, bark boy.
These guys are crazy.
Asthma. Does it have you missing out on what you love with who you love? Get back to better breathing with Fasenra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma taken once every 8 weeks. Fasenra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Headache and sore throat may occur. Ask your doctor if Fasenra is right for you.
Tonight, we continue to follow the largest airlift in Alaska's history. Urgent evacuation still underway, a devastating storm wiping out entire communities. Hundreds of people boarding military planes and helicopters, another C-17 packed with evacuees, landing in Anchorage. The Red Cross tonight housing them in the Alaska Airlines Center Arena, which seats 5,000. 3 people are dead after a private jet crashed into a wooded area near Lansing, Michigan. Video capturing the plane as it plummets right here, 12,000 feet in just a minute. Officials say the jet was performing a test flight after a maintenance check. The 2 pilots and a maintenance worker on board were killed. When we come back on this Friday night in New York City, trouble on the East River, help racing out, plus tracking those severe storms this weekend, Texas to the Ohio Valley, then the Northeast. The forecast in a moment.
COPD isn't pretty. From the struggle to breathe, to getting stopped in your tracks. But with Trelegy, I can finally move forward. With 3 medicines in 1 inhaler, Trelegy keeps my airways open for a full 24 hours and prevents future flare-ups. Once daily Trelegy also improves lung function, so I can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy for COPD, because breathing should be beautiful all day and night.
This is the farmer's dog turkey. Apparently, this is also turkey.
but only one actually looks like turkey. Since only one is gently cooked without the ultra-processing. And only one is human grade. Because good ingredients matter. But the best recipes call for so much more. Get 50% off your first box, available only at thefarmersdog.com.
Why suffer through painful heartburn longer than necessary? For effective relief, nothing works faster than Alka-Seltzer. The effervescent formula begins neutralizing acid in seconds to effectively relieve heartburn fast. Try Alka-Seltzer.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second and quickly alerts you to identity threats you could miss, like changes to your investment accounts, home title, and loans opened in your name, right on your phone. LifeLock. Join today.
CIDP is no walk in the park.
That's true.
But I take Vyvgart Hytrulo self-injection.
Same. It's the first major innovation in CIDP treatment in over 30 years.
And while I still have CIDP,
I have a chance to
live vividly. Vyvgart Hytrulo has been proven to significantly reduce the risk of symptoms getting worse.
And I can treat my CIDP with a once-weekly injection in about 30 seconds.
Do not use Vyvgart Hytrulo if you're allergic to its ingredients. It may increase infection risk and cause serious allergic or infusion or injection-related reactions. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, fever, recent or planned vaccinations, allergy history, or kidney problems. The most common side effects include respiratory and urinary tract infections, headache, and injection site reactions.
I'm hitting fairways with the fellas.
I'm hitting the road with my number one. That's how we live vividly with Vyvgart Hytrulo.
Ask your neurologist about Vyvgart Hytrulo for self-injection.
To the index of other news, a sightseeing boat collided with a walkway after losing power in New York City's East River. Witnesses say the ferry carrying 55 people hit a railing near Williamsburg this afternoon. The FDNY then sending in a marine unit and a tugboat to safely move the boat to a pier. Everyone got off safely. Severe storms on tap this weekend. A storm system from Texas up to the Ohio Valley could bring tornadoes, damaging winds and hail all the way up to the Great Lakes, then moving into the Northeast on Monday. We'll be tracking it. When we come back here tonight, a final note after a very heavy week of news. In a moment here.
I checked Allstate first, saved hundreds on my car insurance.
Please welcome Charles Woodson.
Unfortunately, I didn't check to see if anyone was watching before I stole cotton candy from a child. Checking Allstate first was really smart. Not checking the Jumbotron, not smart. Well, at least I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds. Was it worth it? Yeah.
For pain in multiple spots like here, here, or here, Salonpas patches stick firmly and remove comfortably once your pain is gone. Salonpas. It's good medicine.
These dishes just aren't getting clean.
Problem isn't your machine. It's likely your detergent. I recommend switching to Cascade Platinum Plus. These new pods dissolve completely and have Dawn, breaking down up to 100% of tough stuck-on foods. Cascade Platinum Plus.
Gold Bond believes touch says everything. It says, I see you. I feel you. And I know you. Gold Bond. Get in touch with irresistibly touchable skin.
Hello, I'm Franklin Graham. Have you been running through life? Who can save you? You can't save yourself, but Jesus can. You see, our sins separate us from God. Our sins are a stench in the nostrils of God. But God loves us and sent his Son on a rescue mission to save us. Jesus Christ came from heaven to this earth to save us from our sins. He took our sins to the cross. He shed his own blood. He died for our sins, and God raised him to life on the third day. He's not dead. He's alive, and he can come into your heart right now and forgive you. Just pray this prayer with me right now. Just say, God, I'm a sinner. I'm sorry for my sins. Forgive me. I do believe that Jesus is your Son, and I want to trust him as my Savior, and I want to follow him as my Lord from this day forward, forever. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, call that number right now that's on the screen.
Hey, Perry.
Can't talk. Must guard. Why don't you get Simply Safe, like us?
Must guard house. Simply Safe has proactive monitoring. The AI outdoor camera alerts live Simply Safe agents of a crime before it starts, not after.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on their way.
who can compete with that?
Pretty cool, huh? Simply Safe. Real security stops crime before it starts.
There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Tired of body pain holding you back? Try Aleve for longer-lasting pain relief. Unlike Tylenol and Advil, just one dose of Aleve provides up to 12 hours of relief from all types of body pain. Try Aleve.
Tonight, the secret affair between the coroner and his partner in body removal.
2020 inside the stunning case.
Was a blow-up doll in the passenger seat?
Oh my gosh. 2020, tonight on ABC.
A final note tonight to say thank you for watching on this heavy week, a week that began in the Middle East with the final surviving hostages coming home. So many of you, of course, remember the parents of Hirsch Goldberg Poland who did not come home, which is why we asked them if they would sit down with us again in Tel Aviv. You heard earlier their message of strength tonight, helping others now, saying loss is universal, telling me it never goes away. I'm David Muir. Thank you for watching. I'll see you right back here on Monday. And from all of us at ABC News, good night.
Monday morning on GMA, Bruce, Jeremy, and George. Just days before the release of the movie everyone's talking about.
It can't have been easy playing Bruce Springsteen with Bruce Springsteen sitting on set.
I felt a little bad about that.
Monday morning on Good.
We are primed for an SEC showdown.
It's way more than a game. This is a spectacle.
You got something to prove, go prove it.
The energy is building.
Back up. That's the only backup.
The SEC on ABC, Saturdays, all season long.
ABC 36 is your home for the best of the SEC all season long. Sponsored locally by Bank of the Bluegrass and Trust Company. Member FDIC, the best bank in town. Coming soon to Palomar Spring.
The thing with Centerwell is they all spend time with you. They explain things to you. They're all genuine, great people. I'm Susan. I've been going to Centerwell for about a year. Yeah, you have an appointment, you go see the doctor, you go see the nurse. But the best part is going to the activity center. We laugh, we talk, we play dominoes, and we win prizes. I win. Of course I win.
Schedule a tour today. Centerwell Senior Primary Care. It's about time.
Jeff Pecora, sports, weeknights on ABC 36 News at 6.